I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency. I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote counted. There's something dangerous happening in America. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy? History's watching. The world is watching. And most important, our children and grandchildren will hold us responsible. The Vice President and I have supported voting rights since day one of this administration, and I ask every American to join me in this cause. America is still a place of possibilities, where the power resides with we, the people. That's our soul. We are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Welcome to the nonpartisan Red Pill Men's Group, where women are obviously welcome. And we're doing this book study of Rollo Tomassi. But before I do that, I want to register for these events. You can go to tinyurl.com/redpillmen. And what the group does is we talk about women, sexuality, dating, relationships, and politics, from a nonpartisan perspective, without any of the right-wing crap. And I've also combined this with a dating meetup. So there's a dating meetup here. And so what we're going to do here, let me share this with you. This is the link, and make sure to share, like, and subscribe. What we're going to do is we're going over this book, The Rational Male. Let me see if I can get it in there. The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. And we're going through it slowly. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read from the book some, riff off the text a little bit, try and add some of my experience into it. And when I'm done, I want to open it up for discussion and comments. And for any questions or any issues that you guys may be having, we can talk about it.
What it sounds like to me is that you're polyamorous. I really think that that's what you are. And that's okay. I'm polyamorous. Yeah. It's a great way to be, but you can't go on a date with somebody who's not polyamorous and expect them to feel that way.
Well, I don't know if I'm polyamorous as much as I feel.
What is polyamorous?
Polyamorous means you have you can have relationships,
multiple partners.
You can have
at the same time.
Right. Yeah. 2 husbands and a wife.
Not necessarily husbands or wives, but you could be dating, or you could have different levels of feelings or affection or sexual relationships with different people that are all consensual and open. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're, all involved together, which is a common misconception. But what it means is that you can care about more than one person, which is just what you said. You can have sexual relationships with more than one person, which is just what you said. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you all have to be on the same page. Right. And that's why I say, you might want to look into something like a polyamorous website. There's apps for that. Check out Field.
I've tried that route. I've done a number of things in my life.
I don't know. One person is complicated enough. So.
It is complicated enough. But there are, if you're willing to put in the time and the work, there's a lot of really great things about polyamory. For the people that I work for.
I see people living together. For a long time, I wanted to live with a woman, and the question to me is not whether I want to be monogamous or not. The question is it ever even going to be workable to have that type of relationship, because so much of it is, like I said, we're not under lockdown, COVID lockdown sexually. That's what condoms are for. That's what birth control is for.
Doesn't always work, though.
It doesn't always work, but at the same time, we have those explanations, but they're genetic, they're based on evolution, they're based on women's innate senses, but yet they're not in tune with reality of what the situation is today. Women need men to provide for them. They have that desire for a man who has the ability to provide for them. but they don't need it now. They needed it in the past. They don't need it now.
Some
So,
do, but it's,
some women
the thing
do.
is
Some
that-
women do.
the thing is that
And so do men.
Yes.
You
Yes, some
yourself
men do.
just requested that you would be interested if I were rich.
yeah.
I would be interested if you were rich.
But
But
just
that's the
because
thing, like, why is that a dating thing? Like, why it shouldn't
she's
be a
rich,
Right,
It should
because
be okay.
the only way for men to get married and have a relationship in which they're not going to get screwed in a divorce is if the woman makes as much or more.
there is choices. There's prenups. You are a lawyer. You should know that.
Yeah, there's prenups, and are they enforceable? Yes, you absolutely should be in a prenup.
you can
You
keep
know,
your
all that
finances
stuff.
Trust
separate.
you.
But-
you
But
know,
it's a lot easier if the woman makes more money than you. You don't have
You
to
know-
worry about that.
yeah, you know a lot of women in your field, like judges and lawyers and all
No,
of
no,
these.
the problem is the woman I was with was making more money, had more than me. They won't do it. They won't, you know, there's all men, it's hypergamy. Hypergamy, women have a tendency to date up in social status. Men have have to, as a result, date down in social status and income. And so the result is that it never happens. And this is why money is so important to women, because it's a prerequisite for many women. You can't even get your foot in the door unless you make a requisite amount of income. And most
Talking
women
to
have those
all
standards,
women.
you know?
Yeah. If a woman is seriously shopping based on a man's income first and foremost, that's probably not a lady you want to be with.
That's the first thing they always ask, every single one. What do you do for a living? You know, they're not
What do you
asking
do for a living? I
money.
mean, that's a common question. That
Right,
doesn't
right.
mean like, what is your bank account? Because you could be making like 500 grand and be in debt,
Yes,
you know?
That's true.
right,
Or
But-
have asset and have no cash.
right.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, it's true that women are making a lot of money now than before, and even more than the men, but that doesn't mean that our roles are switched now. You know, there's like, I have my own company, but I still want to date someone, and he doesn't have to be rich, as long as he's, you know, prepared, he's well established, and respect me and values me. That's the most important thing for me.
Let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about numbers. What are we talking about? What's the numbers on the income that you need?
Me?
Yeah, is it compared to how much you make? Or is it, you know, if you make a certain amount, he needs to make?
I don't mind if he makes 75K and up. I don't mind that. I mean, as long as he's respectful, he's a man of God. And I'm not saying like somebody who's at mass all the time. And, you know, I know a lot of people who do that and they're addicts, you know, but someone who respects me, who knows his role within the
Those are
relationship.
basic things, right? Those are basic things, right?
Those are the main important things for me.
Right.
And if he makes 75K, that's fine. That's great.
That's the
I mean,
minimum.
doesn't have to make $500,000 a year to have me as his wife. If he shows me that he's a man of character, that he does what he says he's gonna do, no addictions, I don't deal with that, and somebody who's you know, who's there when I have I'm not gonna say my problems right away, you know, but if everybody has something, you know. But later on, if I need that person that is there to support me and don't be like, oh no, I cannot deal with this and disappear, because a lot of them do that too. So, you know, that's my
Well,
input here.
We're coming to the end. I want to thank everyone who stayed. I want to thank especially you three, Kristen, Patricia, and Cindy. This was an absolutely fantastic conversation to have the varieties of different points of views, different perspectives. You know, I love both what you and Kristen, what Cindy and Kristen had to say, because it's so different, you know. And I also like what you had to say, Patricia, because it's so much what is standard, you know, for women who even though they want equality and they want to make
Family.
roles, right, but they
I don't
they
have a
still
number,
want traditional relationships.
Richard. I don't have a number.
Right.
What I'm looking for is accomplishment, self-worth, intellectual curiosity. I won't date someone who's an ex-addict or an alcoholic because they can't get those years back intellectually. I want somebody who's striving to grow. It isn't, at my age, the priorities are different. It isn't about money. It's about self-worth, self-development, moving forward, non-stagnation, curiosity.
Yeah.
I don't
Those
have a
things.
number either.
Well,
I think it's important that you date somebody who has self-esteem. If you wanna create this new relationship, if you want to, self-esteem is very important. If the woman doesn't have self-esteem, obviously she's gonna be doing all this crazy stuff, and you're gonna be in the same cycle.
mhm.
So
True.
you are a smart man, but when I heard you reading about from this book, I was like, I cannot believe I'm listening to this. And I said, I have to say something. And I was going to start chatting on the messaging system, but I said, no, when it's time to speak, I will say something. But, I respect your point of view. And I would say, like, you need to get a woman who has a high self-esteem, so you can have one too, and don't get involved with this. And a woman that tells you, okay, this is what I want right away, she doesn't even know you. How she can say, this is what I need and this is how it has to be?
Because that's her standards, and that's okay. Everybody can have standards.
Yeah, but you don't say
I think
that
it's
to
girl
someone you
game.
don't even know, because you don't know the person. So I mean,
But if you know that you can't do, that you are monogamous. If you know that you're a monogamist and you can't handle somebody dating other people, it's okay to say so out front.
Say that, yes. Or you can say that on the second date, because you don't know this person yet. But it's important to say it right away, not wait,
Right.
3 months and then, you're like, what the heck, so.
I think what it is girl game. It's an attempt to interpret and understand how high value am I desperate? Do I not have any other women? Am I willing to commit so right away, so easily, just to get sex? I think it's a shit test.
Can I tell you how
that's
that
what
comes
it is,
across?
a shit test.
Can I tell you how that comes across? So when you say, like, you're wondering if women think you're desperate,
Yeah.
if they think you're desperate, they have no self-esteem, because they think that they're the best you can get. And that's really sad that women would think that about themselves and say, this man's desperate, I can actually hook this one in. We do have standards of the kinds of people we want to spend time with and be around. And we are all aware that everybody has options to date. But
Well, it's like that.
we don't want to feel like you're settling for us, and we don't want to feel like we're disposable, that
I'm
we're
not just
there
an
for the
option.
next thing.
I'm not just an option.
Right.
I'm
Well,
it.
those, yeah.
I'm
Those
either it or if you got options, you're out.
right,
I'm it.
right.
And that's it. I'm monogamous.
Okay. Yeah. But for me, when I hear that, it's like I don't play games game. It's starting out with a threat. I don't play games.
I don't play games.
Right.
I
I don't play
don't.
games. Therefore,
I'm not gonna
lie to
hold my
me.
I'm not gonna hold my vagina out like bait.
Right.
I'm not bargaining with my
It's
sexuality.
all it is what it really is to me, Kristen, is a shit test. It's a test to find out whether I'm high value or not. It's not about whether they're going to commit or not, or whether they're going to demand sex before they commit, because they're all going to have sex before I commit. Absolutely. If I'm going to date them, my choice is to not date them if that's how they feel. And that's the decision I made with this woman, because if she feels that having sex is going to make her so attached to me that my leaving or being with another woman is going to be devastating for her, then I don't want that relationship. you know,
Okay, and that's
and so
fair.
I'm not going to take advantage.
But it's
of
also fair for the woman to put that boundary up.
Right. But they're not going to do that. They're going to have sex before I make a commitment. It's going to happen on the third or fourth date. It's not going to be that you're not going to say, before I have sex, you have to commit to me that I'm the only one.
You can
That
say
never
that.
happens.
A woman
That's not
can
gonna
say
happen.
that. That doesn't mean you have to agree. But a woman,
I don't have to agree, but it's not going to happen either. It never happens.
that's fine that it doesn't happen for you. But there are women, because it is a very vulnerable position, it is a very intimate thing for us. It's very difficult for many women to be wanting to go to that point of vulnerability with a man who is willing to say, I can get the same thing somewhere else.
Well, yeah, but that's not the point. You know, the
It is
point
for women.
Well, it's not the point, period. For me, the point for
But you
men
gotta
is
understand
whether
that
no, don't interrupt me. Let me finish my freaking sentence, okay? It's not you think that you can just call and say, commit to me, or I won't have sex with you, and that's it, and that's the standard that you're gonna have. You're not doing it. It's just a game. It's just to see
not
what
a
I'll
game.
do. Just to see what,
Not
because
a
you're not
game.
going to do it. You're not going to withhold sex 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates because of the fact, and I'm not going to pay for 5, 10, 11 just so I could commit my whole life to you for sex. Come on, give me a break. I'm not committing my whole life to you for sex.
It's a difference in motivation.
I'm sorry.
It's
Forgive.
Well,
yeah.
do you think that, Cindy, that I have to commit my whole life to you for sex? Do you really think that? Do you really believe that I have to commit my whole life to you, my whole life and half of my income just to get sex from you?
Why
I'm
does
saying
a
that you have to be
relationship-
monogamous with me while we're
At some
together.
point, but not at first, right? You don't make a
Yes,
man
at
be monogamous
first.
at first. Forget it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's your choice. That's fine. You're welcome
And
to
that's
make
not, and I
choice.
don't believe it.
One
either,
at a time.
right? One at a time.
One at a time.
The carnage of one man at a time. The carnage is no better than men dating multiple women. It's no better.
I don't understand what you mean by no better, but anyway.
It's no better because
Yeah.
it's just one man at a time. I can date 3 women. You can date 3 men in a row. You can have 3 men in a row. It doesn't make a difference.
But this is, again, it's a polyamorous thought, right? So here's
No,
the
it's
thing.
not a polyamorous
It is.
thought. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's not because basically the woman is saying, I'm not going to have sex with you unless you commit to me. Right. That's not really the truth. That's not really
Why
what's going
wouldn't
to
it be
happen.
the
And
truth?
I shouldn't have to commit to you just to have sex with you. We don't have marriage. We don't have
I'm
marriage.
looking for a commitment of monogamy.
Well, you might look for a commitment of monogamy, but you're not getting it from me on the first date.
Right. But here's the thing too, is that
I'm
some
getting
women-
it if I'm having sex with you.
Well, you're not getting sex then because I'm not gonna commit to you because I don't know you well enough.
Okay, so the big thing is that you've got to be confident in the way that you act in relationships, the way that what you
Look,
want.
I don't know
is
you well
confident.
enough to commit to you after first having sex. I just don't know enough about you.
Right.
Just
So
because sex
women-
is not going to pressure me into a committed relationship. You know, you want to have sex with me, you have sex with me. You want it, come and get it. Otherwise, forget it.
Okay. So I do have a question.
Okay.
Why does monogamy have to equal signing
Commitment.
over your entire life and half your income? Does it not have
Right.
to equal that
It
at
doesn't.
all?
It does equal it because basically it's the one
doesn't.
man at a time.
Yeah, no, it
Tanya.
doesn't.
It's the
It means
carnage of
that
one man at a
I'm
time.
the only person
no,
you're
but-
having
but-
sex with.
Can I answer the question? Okay. The carnage of one man at a time. I'm not going, if I get into a relationship at my age, if I get into my relationship, it's till death do us part. I'm not committing to one woman to, like I said, and you've just brushed this over, never considered it. I'm not your flavor of the month. I'm not your flavor of the year. I'm not your flavor of 2 years. I'm not there until you're done with me. I'm not there until the next guy comes. Okay? You make a
That's-
commitment to me, you make a commitment to me. That's it. Nothing, and so my standard for that type of relationship, that's my standard. You're not going to get me to commit to you just so I can have sex with you. You're just fucking testing me. That's it.
Well,
It's
I
not
don't
going
think
to
that's
happen. It
always
never
the
happens
case.
that way.
I don't think that that's always the case, that they're testing you, but I think that you have a fair standard for yourself. And it's okay to say that that's what you want and you're not comfortable the other way.
Mhm.
But I don't think that that is what women do all the time, that that's a test. I don't think that's the case all the time.
Okay.
But it's absolutely fair to have your own standard.
Yeah, that is my standard. I'm not
And that's
committing
great.
to a woman until she's really committed to me.
That's totally fine.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for your discussion. I hope you come because we're talking about desire next time. Okay, to the next meeting, because these discussions are controversial and difficult. So thank you for participating, and both of you, you participated very well. Thank you. Bye, Cindy. Bye, Kristen.
Bye.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate both of you, to tell you the truth. Thank you.
It was the morning of January 6th.
The bell rings, the certification process will begin.
But this is a different feeling on this day.
I just see lots of angry people.
March on Congress directly after Trump's speech.
The plan at the very beginning was simple. Line up and don't let the bad guys in.
They appear to think that I am part of the problem.
They looked at you and they said, pick a side.
I'm getting the sense that this is going to be violent.
Very, very violent.
That we have like 30 people here fighting thousands of people.
I'm hearing some commotion going on outside the Senate floor.
You know, it's only a matter of time before somebody is going to be able to get inside the chamber.
We're going to take you.
They're coming from everywhere, and there's no stopping them.
It's about that moment when the Capitol alarm goes off.
Security pulled me right from the podium.
Seeing her removed means we can no longer secure the chamber.
The Capitol has been breached.
The Capitol has been breached.
We're in danger. You have to leave the chamber.
Lock the doors. We need to move now. Go, go, go.
A shot fired.
This is going to be bad.
People were banging on the door,
Trying to barrel their way into the main door of the U.S. House of Representatives.
I cannot believe this is happening.
I call my wife. You know, that phone call.
I texted my uncle, my will.
We need to be able to fight with something. We need to find weapons.
I have my gun out on my desk to defend myself.
We went from protecting the Capitol to surviving.
I see one of my officers dragged away from me.
It was an all-out battle.
No matter how bad you were hurt, you had to get back in.
I will not die in this hallway.
There's officers still laid out on the floor, bleeding.
These officers physically sacrificed themselves to make sure that I was safe.
I broke down. Nothing was the same. At least not for us.
Is this the beginning? Or is this the end?